17th at 7 p.m. held virtually online. So motion 1.0 is to commence the meeting. So I'm going to launch the poll and everyone can vote on commencing this meeting. Once again, for anyone who is CEO, DO, Constitutional Board, or will being appointed to building representative for vacant seats, just vote no for now. Okay, so this motion passes. We're officially going to commence the meeting. Motion 2.0 is called to order. So I'm going to pass on the floor and speaking privileges to Sash to then do roll call.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, quick roll call, everyone. If I could just get a here, and if you have your cameras on, that's great too. Thank you. So Julienne.
Here.
Thank you. Victoria.
Here.
Thank you. Temi. I've seen her.
Here.
Thank you. Joy. Joy, you go. Okay. Megan. Megan Harley.
Here.
Thank you. Catherine.
Here.
Thank you. Morgan Williams.
Here.
Thank you. Danielle Goodall.
Here.
Drew.
Here.
Thank you. Dominic.
Here.
Thank you. Megan.
Here.
Thank you. Forbad. Forbad. No. Okay. Natasha.
Here.
Thank you. Ash. Ash Miller. Ash Miller. Okay. Ashta.
Here.
Thank you. Mira Gillis.
Here.
Thank you. Morgan Martell.
Here.
Thank you. And Caitlin.
Here.
Madigan. Thank you. And Davin.
Here.
Thank you. And Acusa representative. I think I saw Kathleen.
I'm here.
Thank you. And a CASG representative. Don't think we have a CASG representative here tonight. And a Charlatan representative.
Yep, here.
Mark. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, that's roll call.
Okay, thank you, Sash. We're going to move on to 3.0, which is the land declaration. So on behalf of the Rideau River Residence Association, I would like to acknowledge the Algonquin Nation, whose untraditional, unceded territory we are gathered upon today. Carleton University acknowledges the location of its campus on the traditional unceded territories of the Algonquin Nation. In doing so, Carleton acknowledges it has a responsibility to the Algonquin people and the responsibility to adhere to Algonquin cultural protocols. Moving on, we're going to move on to 4.0, which is the approval of the agenda. So I'm going to relaunch the poll, and everyone's been emailed the agenda in advance. So I hope you all had time to look at the agenda. So just please vote on approving this agenda.
Oh, Dakota, I just want to mention that Ash is here now.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for voting. This motion passes. With the agenda approved, we're going to be moving on to our first motion, which is 5.0, the motion to appoint building representatives to vacant seats. So today with us, we have two individuals who are interested in joining RRRA Council. To start off, I'm just going to deliver the motion presentation. Whereas the Rideau River Residence Association Council meets to discuss news and issues and occurrence to the residents, and whereas some floors currently do not have a floor representative and some students have shown interest in filling these positions, whereas it is essential for council to function properly with a full representative body of all students living on Carleton residence. So now I'm going to pass on the floor. That was the motion presentation. I'm going to pass on the floor to our first individual, Adeline Willett, who will just give her a moment to speak about herself. And just talk to you guys about why she's interested in joining RRRA Council.
Okay, thank you, Q.
Hi, Council. I'm Adeline Willett. I'm a first year from 4th Russell. I'm studying Public Affairs and Policy Management, and I would love the chance to be a RRRA counselor for this school year. I'm so happy to be here on Res, even with the pandemic going on, and I would love the opportunity to speak for my friends and my neighbors on my floor and here in my building during this difficult time. I also have good experience in this sort of representative work. I was a student senator for my high school, so I'd like to say that I know what it takes to represent students at a higher deliberative body. I was also on student council, and during the second half of last school year, I've led plenty of virtual events, and I'm sure that I can pull my weight if given the chance to work with you all. I just want to make sure that everyone has the best experience they can here on Res, and under these circumstances, I think that my efforts will be best put to use on the RRRA Council, and I hope that you'll all agree. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Fun fact, I'm in Papham and I was also on 4th Russell. A lot of similarities right there.
Oh, nice.
So with this being said, we're now going to vote on admitting Adeline to RRRA Council. So be it resolved that RRRA Council votes in Adeline as a building representative for 4th Russell to join RRRA Council and perform the duties of RRRA Councilor effectively. So I'm just going to open up the polls and we can all, oh, sorry, I missed a step here. So Adeline, I'm going to remove you and put you to the waiting room before we take our vote.
I moved her.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that being said, I'm going to relaunch the poll. Okay, I think we still have 4 people who still haven't voted, so please make sure you vote. Okay, thank you. We have all our results in. Okay, so congratulations. Is she back in the meeting?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Congratulations. You're appointed to RRRA Council. Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Sorry, I promise this is more better or more fun and exciting in person. Okay, with that being said, we're going to move on to our second vacant seat that we're going to be appointing today. So the motion presentation is still the same. So whereas the Rideau River Residence Association Council meets to discuss news and issues that occur in residence, and whereas some floors currently don't have a floor representative and some students have shown interest in filling these positions, and whereas it is essential for council to function properly with a full representative of all body students living on Carleton residence. So we'll now be voting in Sarah Scalano, and I'm going to give her speaking rights on the floor to just present more about herself and why she's interested in RRRA Council.
Thank you, Q. Hi guys, I'm Sarah Muscolino. I'm a first year criminology student and I live on 4th Prescott. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm really excited to be here. Some things about me: when I was in high school, I was a part of the Student Administrative Council and as well as the Girls Athletic Association. So I have some experience in leading councils in that way. I also understand that this year is very different and a little bit of a challenge for a lot of us. So I'm hoping to make the residence experience a little bit better for students in first year and in upper years who are trying to make the most out of these trying times. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for your presentation. We're now going to move you to the waiting room. Jordan, if you could do that. Okay, perfect. So with that being said, we're going to follow the similar procedures of just voting in Sarah. So I'm just going to relaunch the poll one more time. So information transfer, be it resolved that RRRA Council votes in Sarah as a building representative to join RRRA Council and perform the duties of RRRA councilors effectively. Also, I apologize. I'm really, really bad with names, so I mispronounce a lot of different names.
Me too, Keo. Not just names, literally everything.
That's
Names
it.
and words.
Just the English language, that's it. It's just not for me. Okay, thank you everyone who voted. Can we add her back into the meeting?
She should be back now.
Okay, perfect. So congratulations, Sarah. You are officially a part of the RRRA Council.
Thank you, guys.
So yeah, I wish we all did like a round of applause, but then I realized everyone's muted, so we can't really do a round of applause. So how about we just do like the clapping reaction emoji
Let's do the emoji there.
for both our representatives here today. Okay, thank you everyone who decided to clap. Okay, so now we're not going to move on to motion 6.0, which is the motion to fill the constitutional board. Okay, Jaden or Jordan, whoever is leading the screen, if you want to just scroll down as well. Sorry, scroll down to the motion to fill the RRRA constitutional board page. Okay, so the motion presentation. So whereas in the RRRA electoral code, it states that for every election, recall, or referendum, there shall be a constitutional board. Whereas bylaw 3 presents that the board shall comprise of 2 resident students at large and 2 members from RRRA council. So the way this works, like I said, is the constitutional board is in charge within the RRRA elections. And when the elections occur, constitutional board is given the authority to decide any issues or matter that comes to them. So the way it comes to the constitutional board, if there is a disagreement within the electoral team itself. I'm going to pass the floor to Jaden just to speak a little bit more about the constitutional board and why we're looking for 2 members from the RRRA council to join.
Yeah, well, Q, I think you pretty much explained everything that it is. I believe we do have 1 resident student at large. They should be here at least. They told me they were coming. And then we do need 2 counselors as well to sit on this board. So I know I've been promoting it and trying to bring it up in all our committee meetings. Nobody has come forward yet, but if you're feeling to take the step, really appreciate it, as this board really does need to be filled. So yeah, if any counselors want to step forward and join the board, obviously, again, you cannot be planning to run in the upcoming RRRA election. So just keep that in mind as well.
Okay, do we have any takers right now? I can just add and vote you guys in as well right now.
I can.
Okay, thank you, Morgan. Still 1 seat up for grabs if anyone's interested.
I'll be interested.
Okay, perfect. Who is I?
It's me, Dominic.
Dominique, thank you so much. I'm just going to take down your name for 1 sec. Okay, perfect. Thank you both. So now we're just going to vote in. We'll start off by voting in the council representative. We'll start off by voting in the resident student at large to the constitutional board. So I'm going to pass the floor to Bella, who's here to talk about why she would like to be appointed to this board.
Okay. Hi, my name's Bella. I'm a first-year criminology student. I'm also on 4th Prescott, and I would love to have this opportunity to be on the constitutional board because I feel like it's really important to be involved in your school. I was really involved in my high school. I was on student council and I participated in a lot of leadership activities and I was a peer mentor. But I also think that, like, especially right now, it's kind of hard to feel like you're a part of the Carleton community with everything going on because we don't have classes on campus. So I'd really like this opportunity to feel like I'm more of like a part of the Carleton community and make that connection to the school.
Okay, thank you, Isabella, for your presentation. So with that being said, Jordan's just going to move you to the waiting room while we vote you in. Okay, perfect. So information transfer presents that be it resolved that the RRRA council appoints Isabella as the resident student at large to the constitutional board. I'm just going to launch the poll right now. We can all vote upon that. It's really awkward when everyone's voting and I just have to stare at my screen in silence. Sorry. Okay, Jordan, if you want to bring her back in and we can share the results.
She's back.
Okay, thank you, Isabella. Congratulations. You're voted in. Okay, with that being said, we're now going to vote in the 2 representatives from council onto the constitutional board. So I'm just going to ask Jordan to remove Dominique and Morgan from the meeting for a sec.
Unless, well, do they want to give a speech?
Oh yeah, sorry. Dominique and Morgan, would you guys like to have the opportunity to present anything?
Yeah, sure, I can go briefly. I'm Morgan. I'm sure most of you have seen me here before. I'm also on 4th Prescott, so we're well represented here tonight. I think this board is really important just to ensure like the sanctity of the election and make sure that it runs well. So I'm really excited to be a part of that and have everything run smoothly and as per the Constitution in a nonpartisan manner. So yeah, that's my spiel. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. Dominique, would you like to say any couple of words? Okay, I'm gonna take that as a no. Okay, with that being said, I'm just gonna place Morgan and Dominique into the waiting rooms. Okay, thank you. So be it resolved that the RRRA Council appoints Dominique and Morgan as the RRRA Council representatives to the Constitutional Board for the elections 2021. I'm going to relaunch the poll and everyone can vote right away. Okay, thank you everyone for voting. Jordan, you can bring them back in. Perfect. Thank you. So I'm just going to share the results. Congratulations, Dominique and Morgan. You've been appointed to the RRRA Council Constitutional Board for the 2021 general elections. Thank you. I try my best to sound as enthusiastic as I can. I'm sorry if I sound really monotone.
It's hard when we're all on mute and you're the only one. So
Right, I feel like I'm talking to myself.
I'm trying to express the enthusiasm through the clap emoji reaction, so you're doing a great job, Q.
Appreciate it, appreciate it. Okay, so moving on, we're moving on to motion 7.0, which is the executive's report. So we're going to start off with 7.1, which is the president's report. So I'm going to hand the floor off to Jaden.
Awesome. Well, this is going to be a bit long. I'll try to make it quick because I know we have a lot to go through tonight. My voice is also kind of monotone, but I'll try to over-pronunciate. So yeah, starting off with the Reputation Enhancement Project Council. So I sat on this council alongside Morgan McKean and Lauren Knight to help provide feedback on the university's identity and aid in the advancement of the institution's image among key stakeholder audiences. So this was like a great opportunity to look into how our institution is viewed from an outside perspective and the work that needs to be done to ensure Carleton is the best it can be. Fall Orientation OC Hiring Board. So I sat on the Fall Orientation OC Hiring Board alongside other fellow stakeholders, such as Emily Buchowski, the SBSS president, and our CUSA president, Kathleen Weary, to help choose the volunteer engagement, diversity, and inclusion and SPROSH coordinators for the 2021 Fall Orientation. Mask Up or Pack Up. So we revisited our virtual campaign, Mask Up or Pack Up, and aided housing and residence life in promoting the designated guidelines for our resident students heading home and then also returning back for the holiday break. So aside from the campaign on social media, emails were also sent out to all resident students with the proper measures that they are required to follow for the start of the winter term, now being in lockdown, which really sucks. But yeah, we reached about 1,000 people with this video, which is great engagement in comparison with our first post from our November campaign. So amazing job to our COVID-19 committee. SOAR conference. So SOAR conference is happening this upcoming Saturday, which is super exciting. We provided all of our counselors with free tickets. So if you still want to attend, I know some new people just joined council as well. Just reach out to me. You can message me on Slack, which I'll add you to our Slack channel, or by email at president@raw.ca, and I will make sure you get a ticket. I will also be speaking at SOAR during the Leadership Blitz. So super exciting, and definitely let me know what you think afterwards. Council staff masks. So yeah, we ordered raw council and staff COVID masks for all our raw counselors and staff. They're really, really nice. And if you haven't picked yours up yet, they're available in abstentions. Again, new counselors and also even our constitutional board members. I'll make sure you get a mask as well. Finance turnover. So our operations manager, Colleen, left us last term, which is super sad. She has been around for quite some time, so definitely sad to see her go. However, we hired a new operations team that Colleen has been working really hard with on transitioning. So they're currently going through that turnover period right now, and super happy with the process so far, and glad this will be prepared and ready for our new incoming team in May. Midterm reports. So as you know, we have been doing the raw report, which is our executive report to students. The next raw report is actually going to be our midterm report. So that's set to come out early February. I'm very proud of my team and what we've accomplished so far, and also grateful for all the counselors, because compared to my first year in raw, there has been such an increase in engagement in council and committee. So thank you for that. Keep up all the hard work. See you at home. So this past week, we collaborated with CUSA for Frost Week on See You at Home. This was a TikTok challenge where students could post any form of creative content to their TikTok. Our winner ended up being a dancer. His name was Newman Charles, and he won a Beats pill and a TikTok ring light. So all the essentials. If you know me, I'm pretty obsessed with TikTok, so love this challenge. Student government lunch. So this past Thursday, we had the student government lunch with the university administration and student executives. Lots of conversation on what the future is going to look like for Carleton, which is still quite unknown in terms of COVID-19. Our president, Benoit, said the longer that they wait to make a decision, the better it will be. So I know that's not ideal, but hopefully that means good things are coming. Black History Month. So February is Black History Month, and we're planning out a series highlighting Black culture and recognizing racism throughout our community. So I'm so excited for this. I feel this year more than ever, people are willing to learn and appreciate Black voices. And as a Black student leader, I really appreciate that. So definitely looking forward to February. It's going to be a great month. Budget review with Laura Story, Director of Housing and Residence Life. So this is my last point. So last week, we met with Laura Story, Director of Housing and Residence Life, who presented the 2020-2021 operating budget for residents this year. I'm happy to say that also from the help of my team last year, all the construction on Glengarry windows are done. So all the windows in Glengarry open. That was one thing in the budget I was super happy about. Yeah, I think that's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Jaden, for delivering your report. Okay, so moving on, we're going to move on to 7.2, which is the Vice President Administration's report. So I'm going to hand over the floor to Sash.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, well, hello, counselors. Happy New Year's to everyone, and welcome back to our second semester. I hope everyone was able to have a safe and relaxing winter break. So this semester, our Political Action and Sustainability Committee has been focusing on ways we can increase sustainability on campus. As the CAF has switched to takeout dining this year, there's been a large increase in food, paper, and plastic waste. Our committee is planning on implementing a waste disposal educational board right above the main waste bins in Residence Commons. We hope that this can help increase proper waste disposal and recycling. And we're also looking into getting a dedicated plastic bag recycling bin that we can also place in Residence Commons. Our chair of the committee will have more to say on this later. Regarding the upcoming raw elections, we have hired our CEO and DEOs for the 2021 election period, and we are excited to introduce them later in our council meeting. This year, the elections will be taking place all online, and what we learned from last year is that online elections can take a lot more work to organize and maintain. This is why we have chosen to hire 3 election officers to split the workload and ensure that proper attention is given towards future candidates. As you know, RRRA will be switching to slates and individual candidates this year. Because of this change, we have been working hard to rebuild our electoral code so that the language and rules of the code better reflect these new changes and offer each candidate a fair and honest chance to the campaign. And regarding our on-campus store abstentions, we are now open again. We were fortunate that abstentions is exempt from new lockdown guidelines as we fall within a special category that allows small convenience stores to remain open. Financially, the store has been able to maintain good standing. However, with the new lockdown restrictions, many students may not be returning to campus right away, and this may affect business. We will be reevaluating our hours over the coming weeks, and we may need to make adjustments if necessary. And over the past month, the executive team and I have been busy planning our next upcoming events. For myself, I've been working closely with our on-campus partners to organize our next upcoming awareness initiative, the Residents Rise Up campaign. The Residents Rise Up campaign will be our mental wellness and well-being awareness campaign that will take place over the week of January 25th. With the help of our Residence Issues Committee, we were able to come up with some new ideas that we would like to implement on this campaign. The week will consist of factual posts on our Instagram, as well as a combination of live events with different on-campus partners and testimonials from our counselors talking about their experience with mental health this year. We're also really excited to announce that award-winning Canadian author Jessie Thistle will be our guest speaker for the Let's Talk event on January 26th. So we hope this campaign will highlight some great mental wellness resources for students living on residence, so please stay tuned for that. And to close off, I just want to say thank you again for attending our January Council meeting this evening. This association honestly wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the attention and care of this community. So I just want to say, you know, even with these new lockdown restrictions, I'm really grateful that I have this community that I can still interact with and have some connection to the outside world. So thank you, everyone. And I hope we can all have an enjoyable and successful second semester. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sash. We're going to move on to 7.3, which is Vice President Programming's report. So I'm going to pass the floor on to Jenna.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone had an amazing Christmas break. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely had spent a lot of time with my family due to the lockdown. But while on break, not only did I spend time with my family, but my team and I were definitely kept busy. Over the break, I was hard at work on planning upcoming events for January and February. First off, we planned an event with CUSA for Frost, which Jay touched on. It was See You at Home. Once again, it was a TikTok challenge where students had to post a TikTok and tag us. Once all the video submissions were in, we let the student body vote on their favorite TikTok. So the top 3 winners won prizes like ring lights and Beats pills, which is pretty cool. You can definitely check out those TikToks on our Instagram and definitely follow those creators if you have TikTok. Over the break, we also kept busy, or I kept busy planning 2 upcoming events for February. The first one being an epic drag bingo in collaboration with CAB. This event is happening early February with a special guest host, Adriana Expose. She is a pretty popular drag queen here in Ottawa, so that's pretty exciting. She'll be hosting a bingo night, and then we'll perform and answer some questions from students. Winners of the bingo round will also win some pretty epic prizes. The second event I have been hard at working on for February is a blindfolded Valentine's Day Speedwingling event. Students will come into the event with their cameras off and names changed to replicate a blind date. I also have a lot of ongoing projects in the works as well for not only January and February, but for the rest of the year. So one of them being a Meet the Grads night, where we're aiming to host this in March. I've also sat in on a few important meetings in December. Like Jay, I also sat on the Fall Orientation OC hiring board, where myself and other stakeholders interviewed candidates for positions within Frosh. So that went really well. Over the break, my program committee also had a meeting, and as for future meetings planned, the CUX programming committee meeting is taking place on January 21st. So in my next executive report, I'll touch on that a bit more. Yeah, all in all, I'm super excited for what the future holds with all the ongoing projects that I have. And yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jenna. So we're going to move on to, I'm actually going to open up the floor for any questions, comments, or concerns to any counselors. So the floor is now open for anyone to unmute themselves and ask any questions, comments, or concerns for the presentations of the reports we've just heard. Okay, thank you. So now we're just going to move on to 8.0, which is committee reports. So we're going to start off with 8.1, which is the Constitutional Review Committee, so CRC. So if the chair of that committee would like to take the floor to then present a report on that committee.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Davin here. I'm the chair of the Constitution Policy Review Committee. We had a meeting last Friday, 8th of January, and we talked about a couple of things. Two main ideas. I'm not going to go into much detail, but basically about revamping our impeachment policy, which is policy number 5. If you want to look it up in the raw, like whatever our list of policies is. And another thing we were talking about is like reapportionment of seats, since the executive team has shown interest in transitioning to building representatives instead of floor representatives. The committee was thinking of transitioning the division of seats between buildings to be based on the population of the house and not on the number of floors. So the committee is going to look at solutions thereof. Those were the main things that were discussed. In addition, we also had a lengthy question period with the CEO and DEO. I believe we're going to have the same sort of thing today as well. So yeah, that's all the business from the CPRC. To you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Davin, thank you very much. We're going to move on to 8.2, which is the Food Services Committee. So the chair of that committee would like to take on the floor to just present a report.
Hi, my name is Drew. I'm the chair for the Food Services Committee meeting. So we had the meeting on Wednesday, January 13th, from 3 o'clock to 3:30. And basically what happened is it's just a recap from last semester as well. So the Starbucks opening has been well received by students. A lot of people did like that new subsidized abstentions too. So I think it brought customers as well. So we're not sure if it's possible to achieve the reusable lunch bags for students, because we are using a lot of waste, and it's really bad because one student, 3 plastic bags, 3 straws, 3 everything, it adds up eventually. Talking about possibility for opening the CAF for in-person dining again, especially for the new students who are coming, who came for winter semester. But because of the new restrictions, stay-at-home order, that's not possible. I don't think so. Food containers have inconsistency. They became smaller compared to the bigger ones. I don't know what's up with that. A lot of feedback regarding that they still can't cook international food, but they can cook rice now. So that's better for them, better for us, I guess. Thinking of ways to campaign for people bringing their own cutlery or even the straws that they provide in the residence desk. And talking about an extension for the Tim's and the Starbucks, instead of 3 p.m. closure, if we could make it 5 p.m. and then more improvement because of COVID restrictions. Other than that, the main issue is just the amount of waste and the lack of variety when it comes to the different cuisines. That's it for the Food Services Committee.
Okay, thank you, Drew. We're going to move on to the Residence Issues Committee.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I am the new chair for the Residence Issues Committee, and let me just pull up our minutes. So the main thing that we have been focusing on is our Residents Rise Up campaign, which, as Sash kind of addressed briefly, it's an emphasis on the importance of positive mental health for resident students. And this will be occurring the week of January 25th, and will be going throughout the 29th. We have lots of events scheduled for this week, including the testimonials that we have for the counselors, Instagram Live with Jackie, who's the Carleton dietitian, and she'll just be talking about ways that you can be eating healthy and taking care of yourself on residence. The counselor testimonials will be shared through Instagram stories, and they will be followed up by posts asking students to share their thoughts or additional advice. So these topics can include things such as how to deal with anxiety, Zoom fatigue. I almost said fatty gay, but we're good. And then also the other thing we want to work on is a giveaway incentive. So just to make sure that we're getting the involvement of the resident students as well. So entries can be done through either commenting on a post or participating through the Instagram stories. And a prize will be a Residents Rise Up care package, which can include possibly Jessie Thistle's book, who's going to be our guest speaker, yoga mat, all that good stuff. So that's pretty much all from the Residents Issues Committee.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to move on to 8.4, which is the Political Action and Sustainability Committee.
Hi, everyone. So we had our meeting last Thursday, January 14th, where we discussed a few different things, some of which Sash already brought up, but we're still focusing on projects to do with waste management, particularly in the realm of plastic bag recycling and compost, as the CAF is generating a lot of waste right now. So we put together a proposal to have a plastic bag recycling in residence commons, as well as a board that clearly displays which cafeteria items can be composted, recycled, or thrown in the garbage. This proposal has been well received by housing staff and is currently being looked at by the facilities department. And once the board and the plastic bag recycling are up and running, we plan on having a short social media campaign to inform residents about them and raise overall awareness about sustainability and waste management. We hope that this can help to decrease the amount of waste currently being created by having takeout from the cafeteria and just overall make Carleton a more environmentally friendly place.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to 8.5, which is our Special Events and Community Outreach Committee.
Hey, hi guys. So we had our meeting on Saturday, January 9th at 7 p.m. To begin, we started reviewing the Speedwingling event that we had in November and what we could do better for the one we are having in February, which Jenna mentioned for Valentine's Day. We discussed like making it like aim towards like friendships like or more because Valentine's Day. We also talked about the epic drag bingo, which Jenna talked about. And we started to think of ideas for what to do instead of having residence formal, as we obviously can't do that this year. And we were thinking of maybe putting an Instagram poll on like the Raw Council Instagram just to see what ideas people have, because we don't really know what to do.
Sorry, I just lost the mute button there for a sec. Okay, we're moving on to 8.6, which is the COVID-19 Committee.
All right, awesome. Thank you for the floor. We've had 2 meetings since we last met here at the General Council. So in December, we posted an infographic about lockdown and quarantine measures and things like that for students, just clarifying that. And then we've just done another video for students returning to campus and new residents, just clarifying measures and adding links where to find the COVID-19 self-screenings. We found that video was very well received by students, and as Jay mentioned, we had almost 1,000 views on it. We discussed that this month we won't be posting a January infographic because we've already done the return to campus video, and we are beginning to plan our February infographic, which we're hoping to have be Valentine's Day themed and going over like why you should stay inside and also resharing how to stay sexually active during COVID-19. And that's everything for us. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to, sorry, I'm actually going to open up the floor right now once again for any questions, comments, or concerns based on any of the reports from all the committees we've just heard about. So the floor is open for anyone to discuss. Okay, the dead silence will be taken as no motions of new topics. Okay, so we move on to motion 9.0, which is the CASG report. Do we have a representative of CASG here present today? No. Okay, so we're going to move on to motion 10.0, which is the CUSA report. Do we have a representative of CUSA here today?
That's me. Hi, everybody. My name's Kathleen. My pronouns are she and her. I'm the current president of the Carleton University Students Association, so that's CUSA. And I hope you all had a really nice holidays. So impressed by your years, the people who are in residence and especially first year's resiliency. to still be here and engaging. And it's so impressive to hear about all the work that your committees are doing. Very inspired by that. And as I give my report, I think there's a lot of areas of overlap. So if any of you are working on something, feel free to reach out and we can see if there's a way that CUSA can support the work of your committees. So just to recap some of the things that we've been up to this past week, we had Frost Week, which is a play on Frosh Week, and it was a great success. We had numerous clubs and societies featured. Over 200 people attended our conversation with Sophia with an F, hosted with Algonquin Students Association. And we also had tons of amazing submissions for the TikTok challenge that Jay mentioned. So thank you to everyone who participated and who came out. We also have ongoing COVID support. So we have a CUSA hardship fund through which we've dispersed over $56,000 to students in need. So if that's you or someone close to you, please look into the CUSA hardship fund, which is available on the CUSA website. And we also have our COVID-19 support group, which is hosted by the CUSA Wellness Center. So you can come out if you want to chat about anything related to COVID or otherwise, because we have peer-to-peer supporters present through the Wellness Center. And finally, I'll mention we have Empower Me, which is a hotline, text-in, video call service that you can access 24/7. It's available in over 20 countries as well, and it offers counseling, support of all types, financial, mental health, relationships, all of that. And then upcoming, we have two more social justice focused campaigns that we're working on. So the first one for this semester is called Got Justice. And it'll be focusing on Black History Month, but also other campaigns around anti-racism and anti-oppression. So should be really interesting. And then for the month of March, we're working on an Indigenous Celebration Month and a Sustainability Week. And then finally this week, we're launching our midterm report as well. So feel free to check that out with everything we've been up to. And we also will be launching 2 funding opportunities for students that you can apply for. One of them is called the Climate Action Fund, and the other one's called the Indigenous Initiatives Fund. And both of them are to support initiatives that you and your fellow students are pursuing. And finally, this week, CUSA elections are starting. So I'm sure many of you have heard, but we'll have our council and executive nominations going out this week. So if you don't want to miss a beat on that, make sure you are following along closely with the CUSA elections. I'll put the website and Instagram in the chat when I'm done. And finally, Divest Now, which is a campaign that we're holding year-long around fossil fuel divestments, is ongoing. So if you want to get involved with that, please reach out to me. Would love to work with any of you. That's it. I'll put my contact in the chat and feel free to reach out with anything, and have a great semester.
Okay, thank you, Kathleen. We're going to be moving on to 11.0. This is our new movement. So it's a motion to introduce the RRRA 2021 general officers. So this motion is used to just ratify and hire the CEO and DOs and make sure their hiring is transferred over and approved by council today. So I'm going to open up the poll for the motion to ratify the CEO and DOs. So to deliver the motion presentation first, so whereas the Electoral Hiring Board has selected candidates under the RRRA HR hiring process and policy for the position of Chief Electoral Officer 1 and Deputy Electoral Officer 2, whereas RRRA Council must ratify these positions before the individuals can assume their roles. The information transfer presents. So be it resolved that upon the passing of this motion and presentation given by the hiring board, that the CUSA Council vote in favor or against the primary recommendations for the position of CEO and DO. Okay, sorry, I misread that. The first be it resolved information transfer will be conducted shortly after they give their presentations. But firstly, we're going to vote them in just to approve their hiring process. So be it resolved that further that Frederick Diabo hold the position of Chief Electoral Officer. So I'm going to start the poll right now and everyone can just vote. Okay, thank you everyone who voted. I'm just going to share the results. So this motion passes. So congratulations to Frederick for becoming the Chief Electoral Officer for the 2021 general elections. We're going to move on to appoint the DEOs. So we're going to do it in 2 separate votes. So firstly, be it resolved that Simon Harris hold the position of Deputy Electoral Officer for the 2021 RRRA general election. Polling is opening right now. Okay, thank you everyone for voting. Okay, congratulations, Simon. You've been appointed to the role of Deputy Electoral Officer. Okay, moving on. Be it resolved further that Maggie Grant hold the position of Deputy Electoral Officer for the 2021 RRRA general election. Polling opening right now. Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, congratulations, Maggie. You've been appointed to the role of Deputy Electoral Officer. Okay, since we've appointed both our Chief Electoral Officer and Deputy Electoral Officers, everyone just give a clap emoji as a congratulatory for the elections team. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to motion 12.0, which is the motion to discuss the RRRA 2021 general election. Okay, so the motion presentation presents, whereas there is a responsibility within RRRA's legislative role to ensure a fair and equitable election is conducted each year, and whereas RRRA has to adapt to the changes amid COVID-19 with the second online election, the information transfer, be it resolved that RRRA Council votes to approve this topic of discussion. The poll is now launched. Sorry, 92%. We're just waiting for 3 more votes. Okay, thank you, everyone. This motion passes. So now I'm going to open up the floor and give the floor back to Frederick, Simon, and Maggie to just present about the RRRA 2021 general elections.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Q. Thanks for approving my hiring. My name is Frederick Diebel. I'm the Chief Electoral Officer for the upcoming RRRA election. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am a 4th year political science student. So yeah, I'm just going to talk briefly about our ideas in terms of what we're looking at with an online election and what we're looking at with individual candidates being introduced the first time into RRRA elections. And most of our electoral changes are going to be focused around making the electoral code adaptable for an online situation, as well as making it fair and equitable for slates as well as individuals to run. So a slate would consist of 3 people, and then an individual would be able to run for any position that they choose. Considering a smaller pool of resident students this year, we are also making changes on that end in terms to make it more accessible for students that want to run, that they can. So what we're looking at in terms of the calendar is we're The election team and I are looking at a mid-March election, somewhere in the third week, anywhere between the second and fourth week of March. We're looking to really engage resident students with getting active in the election and understanding what's going on, who they're voting for, and making their vote count. That we are going to push a social media campaign on the various RRRA social medias in order to get students involved and talking about the election. We are also looking at different social media rules and different social medias that the campaign can run on, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and as well as the introduction of TikTok this year as well. So yeah, we had a good chat with the Constitutional Review Board, the Constitution Policy Board with RRRA, and they had some good ideas that we are taking into consideration. We're also looking at various things to make it more fair and even with individual candidates and slates, looking at campaign funds, campaign volunteers, that kind of stuff. I'm not going to get totally deep into it. I will turn it over now to Simon and Maggie, whoever wants to speak, my DEOs, and they can introduce themselves if that's okay, Mr. Chair. And we'll go from there. Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so my name is Maggie. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm a third-year crim student. I'm super excited to be a part of the RRRA elections this year. The team and I have put in a lot of work so far, and we are almost done the electoral code. We just have a few more things that we're looking at reviewing. Frederick pretty much covered the big things. Our biggest challenge was introducing individual candidates, as we've never had them before. So that's something that's super exciting that is coming. And like Frederick said, I'm not going to get into the details right now about everything, but we are looking a lot at engagement and getting people involved. So if anyone has any ideas, feel free to reach out to any of us. We can leave our emails in the chat. Thanks.
Okay, passing the floor on to Simon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hello, everyone. My name is Simon. I am a first-year student studying public affairs and policy management. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am one of the two deputy electoral officers. Maggie and Frederick covered it pretty well. As we've said, the biggest challenge this year has been opening it up to independent candidates in a fair and equitable way. With our campaign rules, pardon me. So one of the things I should specify here, especially with the code, what's been the greatest challenge has been moving over the election process to be encompassing in the electoral code to encompass independent candidates. For longest time, RRRA has run its elections in such a way that slates happen to be made of individuals. Whereas this election, we're making it focus more around individuals conform slates. That key wording is important to consider because it really changes how we approach the election. How we process things like complaints and infractions, and at the very end of the election, how we process expenses. So it's been an interesting month putting the electoral code together, and as Maggie has said, we're just coming to the end of the process, but I know I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. So before we get to the question period, I'm just gonna bring back the information transfer from our last motion. So be it resolved that upon passing of this motion, the presentation given by the hiring board, that the CUSA Council's votes in favor for the primary recommendations for the positions from the CEO and DEO for the 2021 RRRA general election. So the polling is launching right now. Okay, thank you everyone for voting. So this motion passes. So congratulations to our CEO and DO for being appointed to their roles and for being appointed to, work in their favor. With this being said, we're now going to open the floor for the actual discussion of the 2021 general election. So from the presentations you've heard from the Chief Electoral Officer and the Deputy Electoral Officers, we're opening up the floor to any CUSA Council members to then speak or questions, or bring up any questions, comments, or concerns. Okay, does anyone have any questions on the elections as a topic in general? Oh yeah, Mira, go ahead.
Sure, I might as well ask a question. So really anybody can answer this. I'm just curious. I think Frederick kind of mentioned it when he was talking, but are slates able to consist of 2 people, or are we only keeping it to a group of 3 and then individuals running?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Traditionally, it has been 3 people. So for this election, we are keeping it to a slate of 3 people. So all 3 positions would have to have a candidate to form a slate, and then individuals would be consist of a 1-person team. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent question, thank you. Do any other council members have any questions for our Chief Electoral Officer or Deputy Electoral Officers? Okay, guys, with that being said, motion to adjourn the meeting. I said that and I was waiting for someone to launch the poll, and I realized that's my job yet again. Okay, poll launching right now. If you, oh wow, for the few people who are voting no against this, I have questions. Okay, thank you. So this motion passes. The meeting is adjourned. That's it. Thank you everyone for attending the 4th RRRA Council meeting from this year. We're looking forward to a great semester, and I wish you guys all luck and the best of luck in your studies, and stay positive but test negative. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Bye everyone.
Take care.